Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
A manhunt is underway after a Raleigh police officer is shot at. Coming up, I'll tell you how this whole situation started.
And it's going to be a hot day today, but we have more of this to come with heat indices in the triple digits. I'll show you when we'll reach that.
Also, holiday travel, the scramble is on, and we are back live at RDU this morning as airlines try to get a handle on delays and cancellations as 4th of July travel picks up. It's getting for real now on your Thursday. We welcome you in. It has been building. We've been following it all week. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Great to have you with us on this Thursday. The heat's about to get real as well. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. No air quality issues today, but it's going to be toasty.
It is. Things feel really good out there right now. Our temperature is 67 degrees, our dew point 63, and we're going to hold that low dew point like we saw yesterday. Now, tomorrow that all changes. We're going to see a lot of tropical moisture surging in. It's going to make our heat index really start to climb as we get into the weekend. Today's still going to be hot, don't get me wrong. Air quality, I just wanted to touch on that because yesterday we had a code orange forecast for today, and the Department of Air Quality did drop that. We never did hit orange yesterday. So looking at yellow, and yellow is something that we see pretty often here in the summer. So that's not unusual. It's not an action day for anyone. Take a look at what's headed our way. We're going to see some really hot temperatures over the weekend, especially Sunday and Monday, 98, 97. That's going to push our heat index up to almost 110. So potentially starting Saturday, we could go under a heat advisory that may last for the remainder of the holiday weekend. We'll let you know when that happens. But again, feeling pretty comfortable right now. 59 in Roxborough, 64 in Goldsboro, 66 in Southern Pines. And hour by hour, yeah, it'll be hot this afternoon with highs in the low 90s, but it won't feel any hotter than that. We won't have a heat index to deal with today.
Elizabeth, thanks. Let's get to that breaking news. We're following it in Raleigh. Police are searching for a man they say fired shots at an officer. Officers spent all night covering this northeast section of the city. You can see it on this map, that highlighted area in yellow, stretching from Capitol Boulevard and Calvary Drive to New Hope and Lewisburg Roads. Michael Grace is reporting from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. He is live outside police headquarters. And Michael, this all started with a chase.
Yeah, that's right, Renee. Highway Patrol was actually chasing that subject somewhere on US 1, and they lost them near Lewisburg Road. And that is where that suspect eventually fled from their vehicle. They left the vehicle on Tapers Drive, and this is what some of that investigation looked like. They had all sorts of areas blocked off, a lot of apartment complexes. Now, eventually, that suspect was running away on foot, fired a shot at an officer somewhere near Courtney Lane, and right now the investigation is still ongoing. Officers were camped out at New Hope Church right there in the parking lot. They have since left there, but did talk to the Raleigh Watch Commander. They say this is still an ongoing investigation because right now no one is in custody. Live in Raleigh, Michael Grace, WRAL News.
No signs of relief this morning, 5 days into a mess of delays and cancellations at airports all around the country. And now there is new concern the problems could get worse as we go into the July 4th holiday weekend. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at RDU this morning. And Kelsey, we've been tracking these issues all week. How are things looking out there right now?
It's a busy morning already here at RDU, and more than 700 flights have either been canceled or delayed across the country. Here at RDU, we have about 3 or 4 cancellations going right now. Just take a look at people trying to check their bags in. It's already pretty chaotic. A lot of hustle and bustle this morning, even trying to get into the airport this morning. We faced some traffic, and with those 3 or 4 delays, that's less than what we've seen the past few mornings at this time. But for at least 4 days straight, we've seen the numbers get worse as the day goes on. And this travel nightmare is a result of a lot of different factors: weather, staffing shortages at both airlines and air traffic control centers. On top of that, we're seeing a record-breaking number of travelers. The Federal Aviation Administration is expecting that today will be the busiest travel day ahead of the 4th. They're estimating more than 52,000 flights. Now, one of the best ways to get ahead of the hassle at the airport is just to get here early.
Arrive early, 2 hours early for a domestic flight, 3 hours early for an international flight. We want to make sure you're able to check in, get through security, get to your gate on time, and start your vacation off on the right foot.
Coming up in the next half hour, you'll hear from a travel expert who has 2 things to tell you that will help you if you get stuck in the airport this weekend. Ways to save a lot of time and maybe even a little bit of cash.
Kelsey Coffey reporting at RDU International, and Ken Smith here in the WRAL Live Center. I will be looking at the big picture this morning, courtesy of FlightAware's misery map, and we call it misery because that's what people will be experiencing. Right now, nationwide, we're experiencing 62 delays, 20 cancellations, most of the disruption on the West Coast right now. But let me show you what I'll be looking at this morning. The airports here in Atlanta and this airport in Charlotte. Those are 2 feeder airports where a lot of layovers happen, a lot of, in terms of coming out of RDU International. We'll be tracking these 2 airports as well as RDU International throughout the morning.
Ken, thank you. Happening today, we'll get an update on the efforts to detect lead levels in 5 Durham parks. We told you last week a Duke researcher found high levels of lead in the soil at 3 parks and recommended testing 2 others. The city hired a contractor to carry out testing at the parks: Walltown Park, East End Park, East Durham Park, Lyon Park, and Northgate Park. City leaders will hold a public information meeting tonight at 7 at City Hall to give an update on the soil testing. We expect to hear from the contractors on what they've learned so far and when the testing will be complete.
New limits on what teachers can and can't talk about with their students are close to becoming law in North Carolina. State Senate is expected to vote on those rules today. It would stop the use of classroom materials making reference to sexual orientation or gender identity in grades K through 4. Schools would also be required to inform the parents of any student who asks to use another name or gender. Supporters say they're giving more power to parents, but opponents say the bill targets LGBTQ students and will only worsen teacher shortages. The bill is headed next to Governor Cooper, who is expected to veto it.
In effort to give charter schools more access to money set aside for public schools also could take a big step forward today. The North Carolina Senate is expected to vote on the bill. It would allow charter schools to dip into more district funding. Supporters of the bill say it would level the playing field for all students. Those against it say it would hurt traditional public schools because it would allow charter schools to double dip into money they already share.
A runway is back open this morning at Charlotte Douglas International Airport after a dramatic emergency landing. Passengers are now sharing their reactions after the plane touched down without working nose gear. This video shows those passengers bracing on the plane for that landing Wednesday. The Delta flight from Atlanta to Charlotte is when this happened. They described the bumping and scraping of metal as the plane landed. Those on board say the plane had been circling the airport for a while.
We go back to ascending and circling, and the captain lets us know, hey, we definitely do not have any front landing gear. We will be doing an emergency landing.
We came to a full stop, and there was some smoke in the cabin, so that was a little concerning.
The pilot was able to safely land that plane with more than 100 people on board. No one was hurt. The FAA and NTSB are investigating.
The Coast Guard is examining the wreckage of the Titan submersible as it works to learn more about the implosion that killed 5 people. Investigators say they found what they believe are human remains inside. What was left of the sub arrived yesterday at a port in Newfoundland. The Coast Guard plans to bring the wreckage to a port in the U.S. for further analysis and testing. A remotely operated vehicle found the submersible's tail cone and other debris last week. It was about 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic.
A ban on hormone treatments, puberty blockers, and surgery for transgender people under 18 is one step away from becoming law. It will likely end up in court, though. The State House approved the ban along party lines, sending it to Governor Cooper's desk. It would stop all doctors from providing gender-affirming care to children, even with a parent's consent. Doctors who break the law could lose their licenses or face civil lawsuits. Opponents say it could lead to more suicides among transgender children. Supporters say gender-affirming care can wait until a child is old enough. Governor Cooper is expected to veto the bill, but it could be overridden. What one man thought was an ordinary traffic stop turned into an attempted robbery.
It's kind of crazy. you hear about stuff like this happening, but you never think it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, hear one truck driver's close call in Edgecombe County and how he got away.
And if you're planning a summer vacation, beware. Bed bug sightings are on the rise. What you can do to keep the pests away this travel season.
Also, good morning to you, Sanford. When you're taking a live look right now there. Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking those hotter temperatures moving into our area and the upcoming weather alert that's been issued for tomorrow.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43 right now. It's feeling nice outside. 66 in Wilson, it's 67 in Durham, and 69 degrees in Fayetteville. We're seeing mostly clear skies, but interestingly enough, I was just checking our ozone. Even though we don't have an orange forecast, we're actually sitting at code orange in the triangle, and I'm going to go over that coming up in a lot more detail in just a few minutes. We'll see mostly sunny skies, and it feels very pleasant this morning. Our humidity is still low for one more day before it really starts to take off. Temperatures will be upper 60s to low 70s heading out the door. This morning, if you were looking at, today or tomorrow for morning exercise, go this morning. It'll feel much more comfortable with our lower humidity. It is going to be a very hot afternoon right after work. Our temperatures will still be around 90 degrees.
Two men are on the run in Edgecombe County after a fake traffic stop turned into an attempted robbery. Wiley Staten is a truck driver. He told investigators he was pulled over by a black Charger with tinted windows and flashing blue lights. This happened Tuesday morning at the intersection of Wood Duck Road and Daviston Mercer Lane. Staten says he opened his door to speak with the person he thought was an officer, and someone jumped out of the Charger and threw a gun across the hood and demanded money.
When you're an honest citizen, an unmarked car with a blue light, you feel like it's a law enforcement officer. Had no idea it would be somebody trying to get a quick buck.
Staten says he was able to duck down into his truck and the man ran back to the Charger and sped off. The Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office is still looking for that car.
New restrictions on abortions in North Carolina could be put on hold less than 2 days before they're set to take effect. A federal judge appears ready to temporarily block parts of the law that bans most abortions after 12 weeks. However, the judge made it clear she does not plan to stop all of it from taking effect on Saturday. Attorneys for Planned Parenthood and a Duke Health doctor requested the pause. Governor Cooper vetoed the abortion ban, but Republican lawmakers overrode that veto last month.
President Biden is denying he was there when his son Hunter allegedly texted a Chinese business partner demanding payment. This happened in 2017. An IRS whistleblower told lawmakers Hunter Biden used his father as leverage to pressure the businessman, saying, quote, "I'm sitting here with my father and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled," and added, "You will regret not following my direction." When asked about the messages, President Biden was emphatic.
President Biden, how involved were you in your son's Chinese shakedown text message? Were you sitting there? Were you involved?
No, I wasn't, and I don't know.
Were you?
No.
Hunter Biden agreed to plead guilty next month to 2 tax misdemeanors. He also struck a deal with federal prosecutors to resolve a felony gun charge.
Something to watch out for the next time you're staying in a hotel or vacation rental: bed bugs. Experts say bed bug sightings are on the rise. They are not known to spread infectious diseases, but their bites can cause severe skin reactions. So when you're in your hotel room or vacation rental, check the bed for any brownish red stains or live bugs. You should also keep your luggage off the floor. Storing your dirty clothes in plastic bags also helps. And once you get home, inspect your luggage to make sure you didn't bring any unwanted guests with you. A new skate park rolls out today in Raleigh. It's located off of Capitol Boulevard. Crews have been working on the Conlon Family Skate Park for months. Now it has rails and ramps, everything skaters need. The ribbon cutting and grand opening is set for 10 a.m.
If your commute takes you between Wake and Durham counties, here's a heads up for you. There's a new way for you to manage using the Triangle Expressway toll road. The NC Quick Pass app is now live. The service works all over the country. Highway 885 in Durham County, Highway 540 in Wake County. It also includes I-77, a toll road in Charlotte, as well as toll roads in Florida, Georgia, all across the Midwest and Northeast. The app lets you pay your bill or order a new transponder. The old HOV app will shut down August 1st.
With a heat wave sending temperatures near the triple digits, animal experts want to make sure your pets stay safe. They say you should walk your dog in the early morning or late evening, not in the hottest part of the day. Test the sidewalk with the palm of your hand. If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for your dog's paws. Make sure your pet has access to shade and fresh water. And of course, never leave a dog or any other animal in a car on a hot day. The temperatures will be a concern going into the weekend, but today air quality is once again a concern. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with these new numbers of the pollutants in the air.
Yeah, we pulled up the numbers just a little bit ago, and we're sitting at 123, which puts us at code orange. Now, ironically, yesterday we had a forecast for a code orange for yesterday and today, and we never reached code orange, but overnight last night we had that smoke move in, and so we're sitting at code orange right now. The forecast for today is code yellow, which is 100. These forecasts come from the Department of Air Quality, so I can't change it to orange, but just know that there's definitely some smoky haze out there this morning. We'll take a look at where that code orange is. And we're even looking at a little bit of code red just back to the west around the Triad area. But it definitely all did sink to the south overnight last night. We'll zoom in a little more closely here around our area. And you can see it's from say Durham back down towards Sanford and then on up to the north. If you're down around Fayetteville or Goldsboro, we're still sitting at code yellow. I'm not sure that we're going to see any of this shifting any farther south, but just if you were about to head out the door for your morning run, you just might want to know that we are sitting at code orange. That's not unhealthy for, a healthy adult. It's just for sensitive groups. We'll continue to watch a little bit of smoke in the atmosphere, but it really starts to lift out of here by Friday. We shouldn't have to deal with it after that. Right now, we're taking a look at some pleasant temperatures at 67. At Dew Point is very comfortable, 63 right now. Around town, it is going to be a hot afternoon, though. 92 in Raleigh, 91 in Durham, and 94 in Fayetteville. And we have dangerous heat in our forecast for the weekend. 93 Saturday, but we jump to 98 Sunday, 97 Monday. Will be 95 for the 4th of July. And we really see those heat indices climbing. 109 Sunday, 106 Monday, 103 on Tuesday. Most likely, at some point over the weekend, we'll go under a heat advisory. So we'll let you know when that happens. This is brand new as well. The level 1 risks for severe storms for tomorrow has pushed eastward in the update just about 10-15 minutes ago. So now it covers most of the viewing area from Goldsboro up through Wilson. It's not in it, but this is for tomorrow. So we do have a WRAL weather alert day for tomorrow, and we're looking at very hot and sticky conditions, potentially dangerous heat for us for the holiday weekend.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A familiar favorite from his stand-up specials and time on SNL is going through something that is no joking matter. Comedian Pete Davidson has reportedly checked into rehab. Still ahead, why the star is asking for help.
Music with a mission. This is Larry from Cary. He's raising money for Alzheimer's research in honor of his late wife. It's a beautiful love story with the soundtrack of a lone trumpet. WRAL's Ken Smith takes us there.
You've probably heard about Stradivarius violins.
That's a Bach Stradivarius, which is a professional horn.
83-year-old Larry Kingsley is not a professional musician. Long ago, he played in the Air Force Jazz Band, but he put the horn aside during his first marriage. 23 years ago, though, a second chance for love. A church friend played the role of matchmaker.
She says, here's the number, you call her. Her name's Georgianne, and Houseman.
That's her on his T-shirt.
And we had a lot in common. We're both singers, both been on mission trips, both Christians.
4 years ago, Georgianne was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
She says, it's going to be tough on you, Mr. Kingsley. And I said, well, I'm a tough guy. I love my wife, and I'm going to make sure I take care of her.
That's what inspired him to pull out his trumpet, set up on Cary's Academy Street, and invite passers-by to donate to Alzheimer's research.
How you doing?
Georgianne was always there with him.
Sometimes it's funny, and she used to say, Larry, why don't you get a real job? She'd be sitting in a wheelchair behind me. She thought I was raising money to keep the household going.
About a year ago, she succumbed to the disease, but Kingsley still blows his horn for the cause.
It's an honor of her. She's in heaven, so I'm not worried about Georgianne. Somebody else today will come down with Alzheimer's. Hopefully what I'm doing will help somebody that needs help.
Ken Smith, WRAL News.
And Larry has raised just under $15,000 in donations through the Cary McGregor Rotary Club, with every dollar going to Alzheimer's research.
What a mission he is on. Comedian and actor Pete Davidson has reportedly checked into rehab. Davidson has not publicly released why he is seeking help. We do know that he's gotten professional care for mental health issues after being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. That was 2017. The former SNL star is expected to return to the stage doing stand-up comedy in August.
Simone Biles may be ready to return to competition. The gymnast is listed on the entry list for the U.S. Classic in August. If she competes, it will be her first event since the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. She pulled out from the team competition because of mental blocks. An active search in Raleigh this morning as police look for a suspect accused of leading officers on a high-speed chase before shooting at them.
As we gear up for a 4th of July travel weekend, more delays and cancellations are being reported at airports across the country. We will have the latest on disruptions at RDU just ahead.